Happy Friendsgiving. Whatever y'all doing. Honey, Miss Deborah was up early talking, greeting, calling the aunts, everything. Y'all know how y'all do. I was getting ready to do my little story time, and then I laid down, took a nap. And then I was like, whew, well, let me get up, get situated so I can go ahead and do my Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. I'm going to be driving my car. And so, oh, I might not, I might not go to Nashville. I don't know. I'm going to see. But I am going to go and be with some friends. So I got I bought this bathing suit top. Lord have mercy, I'm spilling out. They do not make this stuff for big people. So I bought it because y'all know I like orange. And all of my other bathing suits are, they put this kind of wire on this bathing suit, which is not sticking. So they did not make this bathing suit to swim in. So and it won't stay put on the backside. So I try to tie it up like this. But this bathing suit costs too much money not to be working. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to wear it. I forgot I had my Black Friday event tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be swimming. But I tried to do my hair, and I did do it. See, it look cute. I'm gonna go with this gray in the back. I gotta find more bobby pins, but I'm gonna put a t-shirt over my stomach because y'all know I'm not about that showing all my business. But this is so pretty, and I better hurry up before I lose a lot of weight, and then I ain't gonna be able to wear it. Because the first thing to go when you lose weight is your top. For me, is your top side. So, anywho, I want you to know that this is a day of thankfulness and gratefulness. And the big deal about everybody's excited about like food and obesity and overweight and all of that. We yearn for community. We yearn for connecting. We yearn for the husband we ain't got, or the husband we got that we don't want no more, or the children that we haven't had yet, or just a family and friends. I wish my family could have a picnic, or be together and do activities, and we'll get there. And so we talked to family this week, of course. So what you got to do is you got to put things in perspective. It's not about all the stuff. It's just about family and friends. So we don't have to eat our way through this holiday. I feel so good. Now, honey, I ate all that cornbread. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie. I ate all that cornbread yesterday. I didn't eat it in one setting, but I made a big fat piece and I ate it throughout the evening because that's what I be doing. I be grieving like that. A little bit anxiety, a little bit for today, but I feel okay. I just have to keep talking to myself. Say, girl, self, let's do this. And Lakeisha, she's dropping off plates. So I may not go be with my friends in Nashville today. Happy Thanksgiving. So I may just go over to Jeff's because they're doing some stuff here. And I may try to go in and get my plate or just go get it and they'll bring it to the car. Because the seats they have I can't sit in them. I tried to sit in them and they're too tight and I can't fit in them. And it's not comfortable because they're 17 inches. But I may go over. I don't know. They're going to have games and fun and fellowship. And he has the best movies because he has like 100, over 200 channels. So he always has good movies. So I may not do that either. So in either case, I'm up. I'm here. I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. And Lakeisha, she's gonna bring me a plate, and Miss Loretta a plate. So that's one reason why I'm kind of gonna stay home to receive her. I'm just gonna get dressed. Then after she leaves, then I will go get my other plate. But oh, you know what else I can do? I got my own chair, so I could just bring my own chair. I have two chairs that I can use. Or I can have them get my chair out of the car. Then I can use my manual wheelchair. So I probably will go over to Jeff's and just use my manual wheelchair. So we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see. And Miss Ann, she tacked up my bathing suit for me. So I'm happy about that. But see, they have these. I don't think they use real big people when they make these clothes. Because this right here is a little bit too far over for a big lady. We need it to be like right here. And maybe I can get Miss Ann to re-sew my. Oh yeah, let me see if she can. Cause you could just take that little serger thing and undo it and put it right here. But baby, I gotta tell y'all a story time that's so juicy. I don't know what. Let me see my bracelet match my swimsuit. Let me take. Oh, thank you, Vidalia. I appreciate that. That's like Vidalia Onions, girl. You got a cute name. Thank you. Okay, let me tell y'all my story time. Okay, here we go. You ready? Mm, story time. Okay, do I have my earrings on? Mm. So one of my earrings must have fell on the ground. So let's see. We're gonna work on this thing. I love pearls. Y'all know that. Okay, here's my story time. So I was riding in the van, and one of the young ladies, you get to learn to respect the drivers and things like that. So one of the young ladies, she was telling me about this young man who is a friend of hers who went to rent um, a, a, a boarder in a house. And when he went, the person said, "You can't get the key unless you pay me 3 months rent in advance in cash." And so he was like, "I'm not going to do that unless I see the key." So when he went to the address where the place was located, of course he didn't give the man the money, but he went to just check it out. It turns out it's an Airbnb, so you can't, the man was doing a scam. And that's actually a very popular scam that goes on. Even when you're trying to buy cars or any furniture, anything, there are people who have ads in there that are just scams. They're just trying to get your money. So in either case, I said, well, let me talk to him. So because he didn't have a place to stay, and I was really looking at renting to a nurse or a military person who travels, somebody like that, that's like a traveling nurse, somebody that's really busy. So I was like, okay, let me talk to him. And I talked to him, got his driver's license, got his 3 references, which 4, including the driver. I was able to talk to 3 of his references, including the person who referred him to me. And the reference said that he stayed with him for 2 years and 2 months. And I asked him, there's several questions you ask, how are they doing? How do they handle conflict? How do they handle responsibility? All the stuff. And so I did that, and he said he was fine. Music was high, loud, but when I asked him to turn it down, didn't have a problem. And his other reference, he told me that if he was living in Tennessee, he would have him to live with him, and that he would allow him to date his daughter. That's how highly he thought of him. So I'm like, okay, sounds okay. So I asked him why he didn't have a driver's license. He had an ID, but he didn't have a license. He said because he liked to drive fast and he'll get his license back such and such a date. So I thought to myself, even if I didn't have a license, I would still have a car. But okay. I'm not brand new, so I know, I kind of know what time that is. If you can put the pieces together, you'll probably know as well. And the thing that I prayed about, I'm like, Lord, should I do this? And honestly, the answer in the dream was like, no. And what I learned from that is I learned how God tells me the answer to a decision I'm trying to make. Because at the time, I'm like, well, I hadn't even checked his references yet. I hadn't even talked to him yet because it was that Thursday night um, when I had the dream. And so that's one lesson that I learned from this. So I checked his references. I listened to what they had to say. And one of the things I was priding myself on is obviously there have been something going on in his life because he's 37. He may be 34, but I think he was 37 because Georgette told me he was 37 or 34, 37. I think he's 37, but I have his license anyway. People go through things, sometimes not good things, but that doesn't mean you have to judge them for their past. And that's something that I was on that Kool-Aid. I was like, okay, I can tell he's probably been in some trouble, things like that. Plus, she said he liked to exercise a lot. That's why she really told me about him. Because she said you all have a lot in common because he watches his weight, he exercises. He's like a wrestler or something like that. Or he got a lot of muscles and he's short. So, a lot of times short people, they're tough. But any case, so he said he was coming one day, then he said he's coming the next day, and I knew what that was about. Sometimes you don't get paid when you want to get paid, and also I did let him know that my area is $800 a night. I mean a month, because that's how much this area is when you rent a room. But I understood he didn't have that much, so I was gonna work with him with what he had, and I told him it would be like $100 deposit and the $500 that he had. And he was like, I'll bring you 750. I'm like, that's cool. And I appreciated that because that shows his effort to really be the type of boarder that I was needing and that I was anticipating. And that shows a good faith effort. He ended up giving me 700, which was fine. You know, I was okay with that. It wasn't so much about the money. It was just about trying to help somebody. I gave him a contract. I said we'll try this out for 3 months and see what happens. Your deposit will be used to rekey the door, as well as I have new towels. I was like, you can have those towels that are in the bathroom. You can use that. And so I think he spent Thursday night. I mean, the next week he came that Thursday night. So at Friday morning, I was like asking him. I said, so of course he agreed to help me around the house. I said, okay, I definitely need you to trim the hedges. And at first he said that he didn't know how to do it. But you know, what man don't know how to trim hedges? I have an electric and I have a manual hedge clipper. So he did that Sunday, and that Friday I was like, this goes to the trash and this bag goes to the laundry room. If you could take them to to those two areas for me, because every day, as you know, I exercise. So that Saturday I went to church. I went to hear Jeff preach, and then after that I told him, I said, let's go get, because what I told him is whatever I have in the house, you can use until you get your own. So, like washing powder, dishwashing liquid, soap in the bath, whatever you have in the event you don't have it. Because you don't know, when people pay bills, you don't often have extra. So, I understand that it's not a problem. Um, so, I didn't have a problem with that. After a while, I was like, use your own stuff because, as people, you don't judge people until they prove themselves not trustworthy to do the good faith effort. I also let him know that I'm gonna go get a food box, and I probably can't eat much in it because I'm on a diet. But if if he wants it, that's fine. So that Monday I went and got, they had cran apples and raisins. My coach said I can't eat neither one of those because they have too much sugar in it, and some 100% juice. Can't drink that kind of juice. So I gave him that and he took it. And at first he didn't want it. He didn't take it. Then later I noticed he got it and he started eating it. So in any case, that Saturday I told him, because I didn't know his money. I said, well, I'll just go get some more. Let's go get some more meat so that there'll at least be meat in the house if he wanted to. And he said he eats peanut butter all the time. I said, I have some peanut butter in here. You can eat that because I really don't like creamy peanut butter. I like crunchy peanut butter, but I don't know if I can eat crunchy peanut butter because my coach, I don't think he said I could eat peanuts. So I don't know. But in any case, that we were in the car Saturday after I got back from church and went to the store. The first thing he said to me was that he grew up Pentecostal. No, the first thing he said to me when he talked to me on the phone is, I can tell you're a church lady. I'm like, yep, I am. So he knew that when he met me, he knew that when he talked to me. The first thing he said to me when we were in the car is that he grew up Pentecostal and he hated it. And that I was like, okay. Then he said, when I left there, I went and robbed. I went and started selling crack. And I said, not a good decision. Okay. And then we were driving down the street and he said, my uncle lives right there. I said, oh, do you want to drop by and see him? He says, no, I don't want to talk to him. He can't handle the truth. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. Seems like he got a place to stay. He got a house, so he handling somebody's truth. I'm just saying, but I'm just telling you what we talking about. And we went to the store and everything. And actually, my little list was, this is how you know you can't communicate. Everybody has a communication problem. So I wrote 1, 2, 3 or 3, 5, something crazy. So he kept calling me, asking me, and I was like, I explained to him. He did everything. I gave him my debit card. He gave me the receipt. No problem. And so I was like, do you want to go home and cook, or do you want to get something to eat? So I was like, let's get something to eat, because I ain't finna be, you know how you go grocery shopping but you still go out and eat. So we went and got some. I was gonna get some KFC. He was like, no, KFC ain't good, let's go to Dodge store. So we went to Dodge store, and y'all know Dodge store had that good chicken, but this batch wasn't really that good, but it was okay. And we got it, we ate it. And the next day, which was Sunday, when he came home that Friday, I had already explained to him how I am. I talk a lot. I said, when I see you, I'm gonna start talking, because I talk a lot. I let him know that my I listen to Alexa a lot, so I can bring it in my room. He was like, no, you leave it where you are. You just do what you do. This is your house. I'm like, okay. So when I saw him that Friday, I went to the garage and I started talking. Then I realized he busy. I really didn't want nothing. I'm just talking. So I turned back around and came back in the house. And he came out. He's like, what do you need? And I was talking to him, and it's okay. So, because I realized from the way he was moving that when he got his mind on something, let him do what he got to do. So that Sunday, he was in there taking the other bed down. And I was like, his name is Curtis. I call him Mr. Curtis. I said, Mr. Curtis, what you doing? He was like, I'm busy. I was like, Mr. Curtis, what are you doing? I'm taking the bed down. I said, well, let me think about what I want to do with that bed. I'm going to put it in the closet. I said, Mr. Curtis, I'm particular about my stuff. My walls can't go in the closet. It might damage the wall. He was like, it's not going to damage the wall. I said, no, don't put it in the closet. Let me call. I called, and I've made an appointment for Habitat for Humanity to come and pick it up. So we did that. And then I'm looking like that because I'm just not understanding why this man is sitting up here growling and act like he can't stop and communicate. And I let him know, I was like, in my house we communicate. It's perfectly normal to communicate with another adult about what you're doing and things like that. So he was just interestingly unable to communicate in a way that adults typically should know how to do. So he went from calling me Miss Debra Ann to yo, yo, yo. And I'm like, Mr. Curtis, don't call me yo. Don't refer to me as yo. And I'm actually very calm because I'm at home. Huh? So I called his reference back. I called his reference again that the night before, and I was like, this is what your friend said to me. Then I called him back the next day, and I was like, this is what your friend did. And he said, Miss Deborah, you have every right to. First he said, you guys are getting to know each other. If it works, it really will be a good thing because you both can help each other. So then this gentleman, Mr. Curtis, said to me, I don't want to. He might have said that the next day. He was like, I don't want to talk and ask how my evening was. I don't care about you. I don't want to know about how your day was. Like all of that stuff. So I called this reference. I said, let me tell you something. I don't live like that. I don't live where people don't speak to each other and have polite conversation. That's common courtesy. And so, and I don't know why someone would even agree to rent a room from someone where you're expected to help out and live like adults. So this young man, Mr. Timothy, Mr. Terrence or something, he said, Miss Deborah, you are exactly right. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. I don't even blame you. He said, first, what I want you to do is talk to him and give him a chance to correct himself. And then do what you have to do. So I let him know, and I said, Mr. Curtis, I'm not accustomed to living where people don't speak and communicate. That's not how I do. So Mr. Curtis started talking about how everything I'm doing wrong, in my house where I pay the mortgage, the car note, the insurance, the gas, and the water, and the utility bill. Oh, okay. So Mr. Curtis says, you want me to move out? I move out. I'm like, good, because this ain't working. So the next week, so I stopped giving him chores. I mean, because I'm okay with that, you know. And honestly, this is where he went wrong. When he knew the kind of person I was when he talked to me on the phone, because church people got a particular way they do stuff. And he grew up in a family, so he's not, he's not unlearned on how women are. He's not unlearned on anything. He knows that I do YouTube. So he started going, oh, and you're talking about getting married? And when you get married, you ain't gonna be able to do all that talking to your husband. I know that, but we're not having a conversation about me. We're talking about you, because I'm at home. But in any case, he started talking about, thank you, Faith. You're very beautiful. What country are you calling from? He started talking about he wanted to go. He mentioned his sister. He wanted to go get her and spend some time with her, but he wasn't allowed. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm just telling you what he said. So in either case, he started talking about how junky my room is. What they got to do with you doing right, doing what I asked you to do? I'm trying to think what happened. Something else happened. So when my niece was here, I had my nieces. They came down. I texted them. I said, look, my family is coming. If you're in your room, lock the door. But he locked, because as soon as my nieces get here, they're going to go in that room because they're accustomed to going in that room. And that's exactly what they did. And they were like, why am I door locked? So in any case, we unlocked it, and that way I said, if you were in there, lock it. But that way, I'm glad he did lock it. So Gabby, no, don't go up in there. That's not. I said it'll be empty in a little bit, but right now it's not empty. She was, kids don't play that. They just don't understand why they can't go in their room. But in either case, he was on his best behavior then, and me and Gabby, we were out there playing, riding wheelchairs, and I noticed my toolbox missing. And also I have a lot of expensive things I bought for the kids that we haven't used yet. So some rings, some inflatables. And so I was like, earlier that week, George had come over to fix the faucet. The sink was stopped up, and he acted like he didn't know how to put the Drano down. That's another thing, because he didn't want to know how to do it. So but that's okay. George came and did it. And I called George. I said, George, did you use my toolbox? He says, no, I didn't use your toolbox. I'm like, okay. So I asked him, I said, do you know what my toolbox is? He's like, yes, I have it in the back. I'm fixing my bicycle. And I said, this isn't your house. You don't use my stuff without permission. And I said, where are the rings that was sitting on my file cabinet? Oh, they fell behind the file cabinet when I put the box, the storage container on top of it. I said, why didn't you pick it up? And he didn't say anything. I said, well, where is the inflatables that were on the file cabinet? He said, I don't know. I said, oh, I'm like, you don't touch my stuff without permission. He was like, he was getting an attitude and talking all crazy. He was like, I'm going to get out your house. I said, I know. You ain't telling me nothing I don't know, because I'm at home. So anywho, then I gave him direct instructions. Now you no longer have access to the garage, because the way I'm thinking is, I told him he can't have any company over here. He had some company over here. I noticed that he had that company that night, that Saturday night, when I was mopping the floor, and I opened the door to look out. And from what I'm thinking, I'm like, well, did you bring my stuff? Did you case all the stuff that's not open that you can sell? I don't know you like that. And your conversation leads me to believe that you don't have integrity for you to tell a woman you don't know that you will go and steal something and commit a crime. That's so junior high-ish. But in either case, I text him that Monday morning. Oh, thank you, Minister Janet. I appreciate that. That Monday morning, because y'all know Sundays I'm chilling. Well, now Sundays I'm going to church, but I texted him that Monday morning. I said to him, when I get out of working out, because I know I work out 5 days a week, I'm going to file a police report. So I filed a police report. The police talked to me about this, that, and the other. And when I got home that night, the things that I didn't know where they were in the living room, those inflatables. So this is the thing. Don't touch people's stuff, then they won't have to question where it is, and then they won't have to file a police report. So he was hot. Don't text me. That's his thing. Don't text me. But if I need to text you and tell you something, then I need to text you and tell you something, because after all, I'm at home. So I told him, I had told him Saturday to go ahead and put my clothes in the washer after he finished washing his, because I couldn't wash mine because he was using my washer. And he was like, I gotta touch your panties. They weren't my panties, they were my bathing suits. Bathing suits don't look nothing like undrawers, okay? But we're old enough to know what's the big deal. Anyway, so he didn't put my clothes in the washer. So I said to him once again, now you don't know how to use the washer, then I told you when I met you, every day I come home, I go to bed. I don't leave my room after I get in. So now you can't use my washer. Makes sense to me. And when I tell him not to do something, he don't do it. He put his shoes in the garage after I told him he couldn't use the garage. And I say his shoes outside in the driveway. The next thing, which was last week, I had my wheelchair broke, so I put my wheelchair by the back door. If my wheelchair is blocking the back door, common sense says use the front door. But instead, he pulled the wheelchair out, so I can't get by in my other wheelchair. So one night, which was about 3 nights before he left, he's screaming in the middle of the night, because he leaves early to go to work. Move this, curse word. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I text him, stop screaming in the middle of the night, and don't use the back door, use the front door. I said, we only have a few more days. Let's make this a peaceful transition, and let's be sure to check you out by 8 a.m. on the 24th, which was his last day being there in the house. So his text said, didn't I tell you don't text me? So I think that he behaves like like he's pre-junior high, because who behaves that way? And sometimes he come here and show me his muscles, show me his tattoos. I mean, that's kind of what he would talk to me about, talking about wrestling, things like that. And I understand he's short, so he is kind of that short man's short man syndrome. Gerald, Miss Debra loves some coon, baby. Bring it on. That's what I'm talking about. Save me a piece, okay? I'm about that raccoon life, okay? Delicious. So, anywho, I wasn't. Whenever something happens to you, remember that you're looking at your mirror. So the thing for me was, what did you learn from this? Did you make your move too soon? 3 days of snow in Birmingham? Thought I would wonder where you were. I took a midnight flight. Thought a little love make everything all right. The second thing I learned is that the desire to have a husband is very intact, and that I need to work on that right there. But I got to get my bed made before I'm able to do that. So I'm just saying, not in my house, but I'm saying figuratively and visually, I have to really work on some other things before I'm ready for a husband, particularly lose some weight. And the third thing is, I went into the situation not judging. Oh, Miriam, you're a Muslim. What country do you live in? I looked at him as I didn't want to judge him, because I don't want nobody judging me. And God tells you not to judge anybody. So my good faith effort, was crazy. And so Miriam, are you a Sunni or Shiite Muslim? My good faith effort was wrong. My brother was so mad. My brother also don't listen, but he was so mad anyway. And my mom said my older brother was okay. I studied Muslim when I was in college, so I know about that. That's awesome. And so that's just my story time. And my sister was worried, because the thing is, how can you put yourself in the presence of a woman that you don't respect. You know you don't respect black women. So how is it that you can rent a space from a black woman? And he put my, because I gave him a lease, he put my contract, my name down when he got ready to go look at another place. And that lady and I, we became fast friends, and she's texting me, and she was telling me when he was going to move in, and that he delayed moving in, and then he didn't even call her to let her know that he wasn't moving in, and she was just pissed at that because she says that's not cool. And she's exactly right. You communicate. And she said she had to contact him, and he told her that where she lives is not conducive for him in transportation mode. So um and so that was pretty cool. And I let her know about some services that she could take advantage of that she didn't know about because she moved here from Utah. So that was my story time. I had a boarder for 1 month. And of course, I gave him the eviction notice, post-dated it. And the police came over. The first police officer that came over when I filed the first police report, he was like, well, we can't make him leave, da, da, da. The second police officer I talked to let him know what was going on and asked him if they would be able to come over at 7 or 7 that Sunday. He was like, give us a call if he bothers you any which way. Okay. So it just depends on which officer you get. The third police officer, he came over. He was young. He checked everything, made sure, found my key, made sure he was gone. When it was during the middle of the night, I had my wheelchair, my walker on the right in the hallway, so he kept hitting it all night. But I was just asleep all night long. And when I woke up, he hit it so much the door was open. I don't know why he wouldn't just move it and move it back. Because of course, since I knew he was moving, I moved my wheelchair completely out of the way so he would be able to get there. Oh, I know what he did that day. That Sunday, we were. I always play Alexa when I wake up. I was like, Alexa, play such and such, and he started pacing and cussing. I was like, Mr. Curtis, what's wrong with you? He said, I was watching TV. I said, why couldn't you just say, hey, Miss Deborah, I'm watching TV, instead of all of this stuff you doing? Well, this is your house, and it is. And he was like, do you have to? Can't you just take that in your room? That's how he was talking to me. I was like, no, I can't. I said, what's wrong with you saying, hey, Miss Deborah, I was watching TV. I was trying to respect you. And he had the TV down low. No, sir, you can't live in my house talking to me like that. Why would you rent from someone when you know you don't respect women? Why you ain't got no TV? If you know you don't respect women, but you ain't got nothing, I don't know. And the young lady who referred me to him, she was like, oh, I seen him yesterday. He don't ever talk to me like that. I said, maybe because you're Mexican and that maybe, I don't know. But I know one thing, honey, can't stay here. So what did I learn from that? I learned that I'm still not a good judge of character when it comes to men, and that I better step back and let God keep working the work that he has to do for me. And that's all right with me. And that it's okay to not judge people. It's okay to move with a good heart. But it's okay. Just leave that stuff alone. And I had another situation with another young man, and I couldn't believe he thought my intentions were not pure and wholesome and from a community standard. And I'm like, these young men who have obviously had some running with authority, who are not fulfilling their own dreams, who are not, they just do not respect women. This is a problem, y'all. This is a problem. You cannot go around not respecting your fellow woman. You came from a woman, and that's pure evil when you behave that way. So I just pray for him, and I pray for our young men who should be our fathers, who should be our big brothers in our race. In the black race, we care for one another, but we're now in a position where we're in a situation of crisis, where we behave any kind of way and act any kind of way towards one another, and that is not good. That's not Christ-like. It's not who we are as a people either. So I just wanted to share that story time with y'all on this here Thanksgiving day, and I'm gonna get my butt and get dressed And I'm going to be back with y'all tomorrow when we start talking to some of our people who have lost weight and who want to share their story and who want to encourage you. You do not have to eat your way through your journey, okay? Your life. You don't have to gain weight this Thanksgiving Day. And I'm going to have to tell myself that too, Miss Deborah. Don't eat all that stuff. Miss Deborah, pace yourself. Miss Deborah, eat a portion. Like I told Mr. Larry yesterday, give me one piece of sweet potato. He gave me two. Because people don't listen. They give you all this food. They know you're trying to waste on your weight. But God bless. Peace and hair grease. Count your blessings. Remember those who are also suffering today. And remember those always who need your consideration. Thank you. Bye.